What's up everyone, it's Kelly and today I've got another swatch review for you. So today I'm partnering up with Cirque Colors to bring you guys their brand new Superfuture collection. And if that name sounds familiar, that's because it is. This is actually a continuation of their original Superfuture collection that came out in January 2021. So we've got 6 brand new multi-chromatic polishes to go over today. I'm also going to be showing you their latest Do Good polish, which I'll explain in a little bit. Before we get into it, just a little bit of information about Cirque. If you haven't heard of the brand before, they are an independent nail polish brand that is based out of New York. They are 10 free, meaning they are free of 10 of the potentially harmful ingredients that are often found in nail polish. They are vegan, meaning they do not use any animal-derived ingredients. They are cruelty-free, meaning they do not test their products on animals, and they're also handcrafted. I'm actually really excited about these polishes because I always thought that there was a finite amount of multi-chrome nail polish options, and I thought that I had already seen them all, but we actually got some really exciting new colors here that I have never seen before. And that's saying a lot because I've seen a lot of nail polish. But yeah, let me show you guys those Superfuture polishes first. Then we will talk about the Do Good polish, and then we'll talk a little bit more about pricing and availability. So let's just go ahead and roll the swatch footage. So as with all of my swatch and review videos, I am going to be using base coat underneath all of my swatches just to protect my natural nail and prevent any stains. Today I am using the Cirque base coat, so I'll link it down below. So we'll start off with this first shade, which is called Singularity. So at its core, this polish looks like a gold color, but it is a multi-chrome. So as you shift your nail around, you get to see a little bit more into this sort of greenish gold color, into blue, and even into this almost blackened gold kind of shade. So I ended up actually getting full coverage on my nails in 2 coats, which I think is actually pretty impressive. For me, a lot of times I have to do 3 coats for multi-chrome polishes, so I was impressed with the opacity on this, but I do have short nails, so I ended up putting on a 3rd coat just to see if that deepened the color a little bit, but honestly I would wear this as a 2-coater. So yeah, you can see in my lighting I have 2 different kinds of lamps showing, so you can see a little bit of that color shift, but it's really a lot more intense the more you move around your finger and the different angles that you can be looking at your nails on. But looking at it head on, it definitely has a very strong burnt gold kind of coloring with a little bit of green and almost blue around the edges. So absolutely a stunning color. I really love it. It feels like, I don't know, like pirate's treasure to me. Next up, we have the shade Life on Mars, and this one is a really beautiful red multi-chrome. So looking at it head on, you get this very intense pinky red color, but then it shifts into a beautiful orangey kind of shade, and then around the edges a little bit more into gold, and then again it kind of starts to shift into that green and blue as well. So there's a lot of rainbow coloring going on in multi-chrome polishes. You'll see me repeating the same colors a lot, but what makes them different from each other is what they look like head on, and they're all different when you look at them straight on. So this one has that very strong red into orange vibe, and again this one was perfect coverage in 2 coats for me. I would absolutely wear this if I lived on Mars, and I would wear it now. Next up we have the shade Genesis, and actually in the bottle I thought this one looked very similar to Life on Mars, but it's very different, and this is a color that I really haven't seen before for multi-chrome polishes. So looking at it head on, it's actually this really intense fuchsia purple kind of color, and then it shifts into red and then into that orange and yellow gold greenish kind of color, and it is such a deep intense shade. I love this combination of the purple and the red together. Looking at it head on, there's just something so different about it from any multi-chrome I've seen before, and I am just so in love with that. Of course I love purple nail polishes, but I just think this is a really cool combination. So again, I had full coverage in 2 coats here. Next up we have the shade Time Traveler, and this is another one I was really excited about because it has that blue purple kind of shift, and I always love anything that has a very blue purple kind of shift, but I feel like this one was a little bit different from what I've seen before because the really intense blue that you see head on looks a little bit more like a teal color, and then the purple looks very cool toned. So I thought that was a really interesting kind of twist, and then again of course it shifts into pink, into red, into orange, and even into yellow in some extreme lighting. But oh my gosh, what a gorgeous color. And I really loved that at a slight angle, this looked intensely fuchsia pink on my nails. So just a combination of all the colors that I love to have on my nails in one. Next up, we have the shade Origin Unknown, which is a really gorgeous, unique one. This one, looking at it head on, it looks like a little bit of like a tealish green kind of color, but as you shift your nail, it looks blue into purple into pink and then again into that kind of orangey color. So looking at it head on in my swatch, it looked really intensely blue and green, which I thought was also super awesome. One thing that I do want to note about these polishes is even though I am wearing them on their own, they actually look deep enough to have a black base color underneath, which I thought was just really impressive that they managed to have that sort of blackness to them to make the color really deep and intense. You can always wear these as one coat over black, but I think they look really gorgeous on their own as well. And last but definitely not least, we have the shade Monolith, and this one I have to say is the least assuming looking in my video, but it is so intense in real life. It's hard to show you guys multi-chromes because I really have to move my hand at different angles from the camera, which is hard to do when you're in an extreme close-up. But this one, looking at it head on, it actually looks like it's almost this silvery teal kind of color, and then it shifts into that strong teal, into green, into blue, into purple, and even into pink. But once I move my hand at different angles, I get a lot more of that greenish blue color, whereas looking at it head on, it definitely just looks like an intense deep bluish silver. But yeah, absolutely love this one. Another really unique shade to add to my collection. This one was a little bit light, so I ended up doing 3 coats for full coverage, but I think it looked absolutely perfect then. And again, it kind of has that sort of deepness to it that looks like I have it over a black base. So here are all the shades together, and like I said, this is just one angle of the different colors that you can see in them, and I always think that's really impressive with multi-chromes, that even looking at it from one angle, you can start to see a lot of that color shift, but they are just so intensely rainbowy on the nails. They look like an oil spill. They're just really awesome. So those are the polishes, and like I said, I am just so into these. I love the formulas. I feel like they're really easy to use, and honestly, my videos do not do these justice. They are so incredibly multi-chromatic, obviously, as the name would suggest, but you really get so many different colors just depending on the angle that your hand is at. So that was just one angle that I showed you with 2 different types of light, but if you're looking at your hand like this versus like this, it's gonna look like a completely different color. So they're just really fun to play around with. Definitely a lot of fun to wear. I feel like you are gonna be fascinated by your nails if you wear them. So yeah, just overall really excited about them. So these polishes are going to be a permanent part of the Cirque line, so they're not limited edition. You will be able to get them on their website and from their retailers. They come in the regular 11 milliliter bottles and they retail for $14 USD each. So I'm gonna link that down in the description for you guys. So now that we've gone over that, let's talk about their latest Do Good polish. If you haven't heard of their Do Good series, it's basically just they create these fundraising polishes where 100% of the net proceeds go to different organizations. So this time we have the shade Firecracker, and 100% of the net proceeds benefit Welcome to Chinatown, which is a grassroots initiative to support Chinatown in New York City. So let me show you guys this polish. It's a really gorgeous red base that has a really intense orangey gold shimmer, and it also has a magnetic effect. So when you hold a magnet over it, you'll get that really beautiful sharp line of magnetic 3-dimensional pigment that kind of moves around when you move your nail. So the way that they recommend applying and using magnetic polish is you apply the polish for full coverage and let that dry completely. On my short nails, it ended up being fully opaque in one coat, so I just did that. And then once that's dry, you can apply a thicker layer of the polish and then immediately hold a magnet over it for 30 to 60 seconds, and then it'll create that 3-dimensional effect. And then when you add your top coat, it's also recommended to hold the magnet over it for another 30 seconds just to make sure that that line stays really sharp. So as you can see, this polish is super gorgeous. I absolutely love it. I have a lot of fun with magnetic polishes as well. I think it's another thing that you just kind of find yourself mesmerized by your nails with, and it is just a really beautiful classic kind of color. So this one is a limited edition polish and it is exclusive to the Cirque Colors website, so I'll link that down below. Again, it comes in the 11 milliliter bottle. This time we have the special edition silver cap, and this one retails for $14 USD. Once again, 100% of the net proceeds go to Welcome to Chinatown. So you're basically just donating money and then getting a free polish, which is what I love about the Do Good polishes. But yeah, overall, I have to say I'm very excited excited about these new releases from Cirque. I think they're just a brand that consistently comes out with really incredible polishes, and I especially love when they do continuations of lines that I already love. I absolutely love their Vice polishes, so whenever they do like a continuation, I just get very excited. But I'd love to know what you guys think. What do you think of these polishes? Which is your favorite? What do you think of the Do Good polish? Are you planning on picking any of them up, or have you already? Let me know in the comments. We can chat about it. If you enjoy my swatch and review videos, please give this one a thumbs up. It lets me know I'm doing a good job. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. I put out new videos every Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday. Huge shout out to my Cosmic Admirals on Patreon, Amanda M, Braxton Scott, and Rocket Man's daughter. I really appreciate your support, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Today's fun fact question comes from Patreon supporter Autumn, and Autumn wants to know, are there times of the year that are slower for polish releases or periods of time where you get less PR stuff sent to you? Yes, absolutely. I would say actually January is probably the slowest time of year in terms of new releases. It's actually timed pretty well because usually in the beginning of January I find myself a little burnt out and tired from all of the holiday craziness, so I never plan to, but I always end up taking a little time off from making videos, which ends up working out pretty well because there aren't usually that many new releases coming out this time of year. So it kind of slows down a little bit for January and then February, and then it picks up again for all of the spring polishes. So yeah, this is pretty much the time of year that there's less releases going on. But I do actually like having a little bit of a lull during this time because it gives me more of an opportunity to try out new brands and also share with you guys more favorites videos, stuff like that I can't really do as much of when there's a ton of new releases coming out. So I do have a lot of exciting stuff coming, so stay tuned for that, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!